Hi, good morning. Thanks for joining me. It's Christine Crutcher from Create with Christine, and I am here with another Tea and Techniques episode. So this morning I'm really excited because I went into my drawer and grabbed out my embossing paste. And I did that because I got my March 2021 paper pumpkin kit this week, and there's a special gift inside of it because it was Stampin' Up's paper pumpkin anniversary. So I have the box, but I'm not going to go through and open it all up. But here's the box, and here is the little insert with how the cards are meant to be. But they gave us a sponge, and then they gave us 4 little decorative masks. And I'm going to use 2 of the masks today, and we're going to do 2 cards using embossing paste, because I haven't done this technique in so long. I mean, I did a class on it many, many years ago. So here's the cards we're gonna stamp. Most of the stuff is from the kit that I'm using, but I did add a 2-inch circle punch, my embossing paste, and then some of the items that go along with the embossing paste. So the palette knives, and I'm gonna use my silicone mat. And I'm also going to use a stamparatus plate just to try to keep things and not get too messy, but it is a little bit messy, but it's kind of fun and artistic. So I'm going to point my camera down at my station. Again, we're doing March 2021 paper pumpkin, but I am incorporating embossing paste and how to add texture to your cards and your projects using embossing paste. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so I'm just going to find myself in my feed, and again, here's the 2 cards that we are going to stamp. And let me just make sure that I am in the shot. And okay, that looks great. So again, if you have the kit, you would have had to subscribe by March 10th to get the kit. So the kit is 8 cards, 2 designs. And Stampin' Up always has kind of mountain-ish products, being a company based in Utah. So this was kind of fun, but I'm putting my own twist on it today. So we're going to do card number 1 first, and let me just get this one out of the way so I don't confuse myself. So this is super simple and easy. The only thing about the embossing paste is you're going to have to let it dry, or if you're impatient, you can heat set it with a heat tool or heat gun if you have it in your stash. So let's do the stamping and get that all out of the way. Because it's a photopolymer stamp set, I'm going to bring over my Stampin' Pierce mat. And I'm actually going to stamp right on the card base that Paper Pumpkin provided. And I know some of you probably are going to be like, oh, I can't do that, but you can, and just go slow and easy. So for this particular card, I'm going to do Pretty Peacock, and Pretty Peacock is one of our retiring in colors, so it's going to be retiring in the next couple weeks. So I definitely suggest that if you own this and you have it in your stash, that you purchase an extra set of cardstock and an ink refill while they're still available. We actually get our retirement list this week as demonstrators, so I'm going to try to do a walkthrough on Friday night, this Friday night at 5 Eastern. Okay, so I'm just going to do, there's these 2 little birds, and I'm going to put them up in the sun over the mountains. And then there's this great little sentiment: may your journey through life take you to many new and exciting places. And I'm just going to do this down in the corner. So I think this will be a great retirement card. But to jazz it up a little bit, I want to do my add my embossing paste. So I'm just going to get some stuff out of the way here. I'm going to use this later. So I'm going to bring over one of my stamparatus plates just so I don't get embossing paste everywhere. So I'm going to line this up straight, and for this card I'm going to use the cloud mask. So they gave us these masks and stencils. I'm calling them masks because we sell decorative masks. They're a little bit larger in the annual catalog, but these are kind of small and they're great to go right on a card front. So I want these 4 clouds up at the top. I might need to pull back. I think I'm in the camera. So it's optional if you get to this point, if you want to add some painter's tape, if you have some in your house. So I'm just gonna add a little bit to kind of hold this down. And the palette knives, they come in a set of 3. So I'm just gonna use this kind of one, like a spatula looking one. And I'm gonna bring over my silicone mat and my embossing paste. So I am using the shimmery white, I believe this one is shimmery white embossing paste. We also sell silver. I believe the silver is potentially on back order right now. So I am just gonna scoop out a little tiny bit. A little bit really goes a long way with this stuff. That's probably too much, but that's okay. I'm gonna do 2 cards, so I'll have a little extra for the next one. And then I am just going to, I hope I'm in the shot. Pick up with my palette knife. I think that's a little bit better. And then just spread over the 4 clouds at the top that I want. And obviously clouds can be a little lumpy and bumpy, so if I get it a little bit lumpy and bumpy, that's okay. And then I want to set this aside to dry. Once I'm happy and think I have all my kind of corners and it looks good, I can release the stencil or mask right away and then set it aside to dry. And I recommend at least 30 to 1 hour. So there we go. There's my clouds. And oops, while I'm here, I'll just add, I was thinking it would be fun to add some color to the trees, and I did not do that in the original. So I'm just gonna set this aside. I'm just gonna do this on my mat here. I thought if I have a little extra, you could add it to the top of the trees as well. So I didn't do this in the original one, but maybe it's spring, happy spring officially, but we're in the mountains and there's still some snow in the mountains. So add a little texture to the trees, and once this is dry, I'm gonna put it right down here. So it's pretty peacock on one side, but you could also flip over if you wanted white, all white, or you could color the white side a different color. So those are a couple ideas with card number 1. And let's move over to card number 2. So good morning, Celine, thank you. Oh, hi Sandy, good morning. Thanks for tuning in. So card number 2, I went a little bit more artistic, and I actually colored the embossing paste. So I want to show you how to do that if you are not aware of how to do that yet. And then I added a little bit more stamping with both the Calypso Coral and then the Pretty Peacock. So let's move on to card number 2. And honestly, since I have all this right here, I'm just gonna do the embossing paste now, and then I'll do the stamping second. So scoop out some embossing paste, and then I'm gonna color it with the ink refill. So again, my colors are coming right from the Paper Pumpkin kit, and Paper Pumpkin is like so awesome. They give you all the colors that they use right at the bottom of the insert that you get. So it tells you right here, Bumblebee, Calypso Coral, Old Olive, Petal Pink, Pretty Peacock, and Seaside Spray. So I have my Calypso Coral ink refill, and I'm just gonna drop 1 I'm shaking. I don't know why. So it's one healthy drop from my re-inker. And then I'm just gonna mix this up. So kind of fun. A little messy. But I hope by showing you how to use kind of the the stamparatus plate that you can kind of keep things under control. Okay, so let me grab my pieces. You're gonna laugh at this. Now, you do not have to use the insert that came in the kit, but I'm actually using the insert that came in the kit. So it's 3 3/4 by 5. And I am just gonna line it up on my plate. And then I'm using, one of the masks in the kit is stars. And I thought it would be fun to just put it at an angle. And you could do however you want to do it. The smaller ones at the bottom, the larger ones at the top. Grab a little bit of painter's tape. I'm ripping this like super terrible, but that's okay. It'll work. And then let's grab our paste that we just colored Calypso Coral and have some fun. And I'm just gonna, I might not even have done enough on this one, but depending on how thick or thin you do it, that will tell you how long it's gonna take to dry too. Whoops, I got some off right there, but it dries, and once it's dry, you won't be able to kind of move it. So I tried earlier. I did one earlier, and I'll show you. It didn't come out great, but it's artistic and fun, so I'm having fun with it. And I hope you will too. So once I think I have everything covered, I can remove and then set this aside to dry. And then I'll show you the other pieces of this card. Okay, I think I got everything. That looks good. Try to keep everything on the mat. One thing about using everything that I'm using, the plate, the stencils, the palette knife, and the mat. Okay, not too bad. All this stuff is gonna go to the kitchen sink as soon as I finish this live video, and I'm gonna wash everything off. So you wanna make sure you do that and ask me how I know, because I have not done that before and my stuff was ruined. My stencils were ruined. So make sure you wash everything off immediately following. Whoops, I got some on my table. So I'm just gonna grab a little bit of paper towel and get that up right away. Okay, so I did one earlier, and this is how it came out. So it's a little bit, I don't love it because I have a blotch here and some blotches up there, but I'm just gonna show you how I did the card. This here is the envelope liner from the kit. So it's an envelope liner, and I cut it down to 1.5 by 3 3/4 because I love the design so much. So I actually could cover up one of those splotches. So let's just do that, and then I'll be happy with it. So see, you can even cover your mistakes and nobody will know that they were there. So cut down the envelope liner. So you should be able to get a couple if you cut it at 1.5 by 3 3/4. And oh, I'm gonna do my stamping. I haven't done my stamping yet. So let's get my pieces that are stamped. So I punched out a 2-inch circle punch with a piece of basic white cardstock. So I did add that. And then I have a label that came right from the kit. I just popped that out, and these are the pieces we're gonna stamp on. So let's get this out of the way, bring the pierce mat back, and I'm gonna do the floral image in Calypso Coral. And onto my 2-inch circle punch. Since it's photopolymer, I can punch the circle first and then stamp right there. I know exactly where I'm going. And then there's a sentiment, here's to you. And I'm going to do that in Pretty Peacock on the little label from the kit. So I hope I'm inspiring you to give embossing paste a try. It's super fun. And I haven't done it in so long that this is kind of what I want techniques, tea and techniques to be all about. So my stamping is set. Let me get this out of here. Okay, so now I can go ahead and put my pieces together. So I started kind of putting my piece together here, and then I just want this to kind of go towards the left, and then so my sentiment has room to come on. So let's just put this guy on with a little bit of glue. You can use whatever glue you have. In the Paper Pumpkin kit, it usually has dimensionals and glue dots, little glue dots, different from, like when we sell glue dots, they come in a little box on a roll. So the ones that come in the kit are just kind of flat on a sheet, and that's okay to get started. So let's get our Here's to You on here. Now I can go right to, this is right from the kit. It's a Pretty Peacock card base. And you can see I used the card right from the kit. But if you want to save this for another project, it's 3 3/4 by 5. And then I just did, the kit has linen thread in it, and I just did a double bow, and it was about 12 inches of linen thread I cut off. And then I have a bow maker, so I just made this on my bow maker. And you have a couple options. I'm just going to take a glue dot and ball it up and add this on right down here. I don't normally do that with my glue dots, but for tiny pieces, I will ball it up and kind of throw it on there. You could also use a tiny bit of liquid glue, but you kind of have to hold it in place if you're going to use the liquid glue for your tiny bows. And I don't love that option as much because I feel like they eventually fall off. So let's bring over my cards. So here are my original 2 cards. So fun with embossing paste this morning. So if you're not already a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, I will put the link to subscribe. There's actually 2 different ways to subscribe. You can prepay, and the prepays come in 1, 3, 6, or 12-month subscriptions, or you can pay month to month. So what happens, you have to sign up by the 10th of the month, and then the kits go out. So lately I've actually been getting my kit around the middle of the month. So, and they ship from Utah, and I'm all the way in Massachusetts. So they've actually been doing a really great job lately about getting the kits out timely here to my region. So if you sign up by April 10th, you would get the April kit. And we actually don't know technically exactly what the products are going to be. It's a surprise every month, but they do give us a hint. And the hint for April was that there are cards that kids might be interested in making. They coordinate with the Ice Cream Corner Suite from our January to June mini catalog. And there's 12 cards. The kit is called So Cool. So if you're watching and you have grandkids or kids that you might be interested in crafting, it would be a great time to sign up to get the April kit. They told us the cards are kind of popsicle-ish themed and some other stuff. So I'll put a sneak peek video on my blog with this post today at christinestamps.blogspot.com, so you can check that out. And I do also want to just touch on my butterfly home decor class before I sign out. So let me just grab that really quick. So you may have seen it in the beginning of the video. It was over my shoulder. So this home decor class is still available, but I only have 4 kits available right now. So registration is going to close once I sell those 4 kits. Or this week you have to sign up by Wednesday, March 24th at noon Eastern. So I started prepping yesterday. And this past week, we did sell out of the Butterfly Designer Series paper that I'm using. So that's why I have to cut registration off with 4 more kits. So if you want that class, please sign up ASAP. And I will send out a marketing today with how many kits I have left. And if you, just to give you a look, it's a 12 by 12. And in the kit, you get all the pieces die cut that we're using, all the butterflies die cut, and the paper and the vellum. And then you get a full pack of the opals, and then a full roll of the white crinkled ribbon. And then I'm giving you 1/8 pack of the butterfly paper. So that's why I had to limit it because, oh, and a 1/4 pack of the natural touch because the butterfly sold out and I only have so much available. So I think that's it for me for this week. I'm just going to bring up my camera to my face again. So thanks so much for tuning in. Happy spring. And if you're not on my mailing list, I'll put the link to join below. And I'll put the link on how to subscribe to Paper Pumpkin either month to month or how to prepay. So let me know if you have any questions. Have a great week. I'll see you next week for another Tea and Techniques episode.